What's up, guys?
My name is Dorotea, and we have
Evan from TheSavvyExpat.
Yay!
Yes.
Hey Evan, thank you so much
Of
for
course.
allowing us to video with you and also to show us around here in BGC.
Yeah, my pleasure to be on the channel. So yeah, basically Dorotea and I, we got in contact, what did you say, like 2 months ago maybe?
Yes.
It's been a while. And she mentioned to me that she was going to the Philippines, and we just decided let's do a collab and make some content for you guys.
Yeah, so we are so excited to show you around. This is my first time going around BGC, so let's go ahead and get started. So Evan, where are we at right now?
So right now we're on 1 Bonifacio High Street. This is the heart of BGC. You'll find a lot of the most infamous, or not infamous, renowned shops and stores are here, globally known, and this is, I suppose you could say, the it spot of the city.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at that. The 3D
Yeah, the 3D screen. When they brought this out about 4 months ago, this was probably the biggest attraction in the Philippines for a while, because it's like something you'd see in Singapore or Taiwan.
Yes,
Yeah.
very cool. And then you mentioned that this street is the popular one.
Yep.
This is almost like New York, you mentioned.
Right. It's like the Manhattan of New York. So that's like how it is here in the Philippines, or here in BGC. You have a few very popular spots. The main three is this place, High Street. Then there's Uptown, Bonifacio, and then there's Burgos Circle. Uptown and Burgos is for nightlife, but this place is more of a daytime spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's really busy also.
Yeah. Yep. This is basically an outdoor shopping center. High Street is basically a straight line down, which is maybe 4 or 5 kilometers, or excuse me, 1 kilometer down. And then on your left and right hand side, you'll find malls, and then you'll find restaurants and stores. So it's a great place for window shopping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Evan, I know we want to talk about BGC, but we also wanted to hear more about you.
Oh, okay,
right?
sure.
So, how long have you been staying here in BGC, and how did you end up here in BGC?
We've been, so I've been in BGC for about 4 years now, in the Philippines for 4 years. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, about 20 minutes outside of downtown for my entire life. And we moved to the Philippines 4 years ago, like I mentioned. I was 16 at the time. And we've been to all the provinces here, but BGC for us is really the place that we love the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then besides BGC, where else have you been? Also in the Philippines?
We've been to Siargao, which is down south, a very good surfing spot. We've been to mostly around Luzon. So Subic, Baguio, Tagaytay. My grandparents' home province, Quezon province in Lucena. So a lot of different areas that we've been to here.
Yes. And I know most of the expat would come here to retire, right? But you're here for a different purpose, not just to live here, but also for business.
For business, yes. Originally, when I came here, I did not know that there was any business opportunity here. And consistently on my channel, I'd get a lot of comments from my American audience saying, Evan, you're eventually going to come back to the Philippines for work. It was a terrible decision on your parents' end and on your end to go to the Philippines. You're going to come back here when money's dried up. But it's kind of straightforward. That's social media. But I thought, okay, I know there's business opportunity here. You look all around us here in BGC. I mean, there's got to be some sort of money.
Yeah.
So there's business opportunity. Came here, started my YouTube channel, TheSavvyExpat. It originally started as a vlog channel, but then when I started talking about cost of living and retirement, a expat audience has gravitated towards the channel, and now we have a decent following, and then we provide services on the back of it.
Right. So it's not just YouTube that your form of income streams, right? What other ways as a YouTuber or as a social media expert that you get your income stream?
So I created a BGC guide. I went through almost every nook and cranny of the city and showed how to live in BGC, the accommodations here, the best restaurants, places to visit, things to watch out for, everything that one we need to know about BGC. I created a guide for that. And then we also provide real estate services. So for expats to find an accommodation coming here, we find that for them. And then also a visa service where if you want a retirement visa, dual citizenship, any sort of visa, we also provide services for that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Those are the main services that we provide.
And then also you show them all the travel blogs that you experience, right?
Of course,
Yes.
of course, yeah. So
Yes.
we make content predominantly on cost of living and retirement here.
And then how did you came up with TheSavvyExpat name?
TheSavvyExpat. Well, I figured this would be a long-term vision for me, and I thought, okay, I could do the Philippine expat, I could do the Philippine vlogger, but I thought, what if I ever leave the Philippines? What if I go to another country? So I said, okay, let's keep it broad. TheSavvyExpat, travel savvy, travel smooth. That's the whole premise of the channel. Basically, navigating life in any country, not just the Philippines, and doing it well, doing it to the best of your ability.
Nice. And how many subscribers you have now?
We hit 37,000 yesterday.
Wow,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you so much.
Yes. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So, Dorotea, what do you think about BGC upon first glance? This is your first time here.
This is my first time here, and it is different from when I grew up, when I was young, and then comparing it now, it is so different because it's with all these tall buildings, with all these condos, and then shop. It's not just a regular shops, but these are high-end shops. So I've heard about it and through YouTube, and it seems that most of the Western or most of the foreigners, they love it here. So
Yes.
I am curious, what is this about? And
Yeah.
I can see why they love it here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the city, the main attraction that you have here is that it's a very convenient city to live in. So everything is very walking distance, very safe. You can go out at night and you wouldn't have to worry about anything being stolen. We can take a left over here.
Okay.
And of course, any shop or store that you would need on a day-to-day basis or want access to, it's all within the city. Yes.
Oh, look at this. This is nice. How classy.
Yeah. It's like a Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah, for
okay.
Christmas.
So this is new.
This is new, yes. So typically this sign is just a normal blue color, but because of Christmas, they plaqued it with like this
Nice.
style. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
We celebrate Christmas here very early.
Only in the Philippines.
Only in the Philippines, yeah.
And what's nice about this area is that they also have these places where you could sit down and relax.
Yes, yes. It's a very leisurely city.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's not just all buildings. You have the park.
exactly.
And so many restaurants here too to go to.
Yeah, yeah. The thing I like about living in BGC is that although it is quite a small city compared to major US cities, even within the radius that we have, there's a lot of diversity in cuisine. Indian, Japanese, Italian. American is hard to say because there is American restaurants, but when you live in the US your whole life, then try the American food here, it's a little different.
Yeah. But things that have not changed here in the Philippines is the weather.
Yep.
Still hot, but it's okay.
Yeah. Is it hot for you right now?
It is
Dorotea?
hot for me right now.
Guys, I've lived here for 4 years now, so I'm so used to it. Even being from like the windy city of Chicago, this weather for me now after 4 years here is like, wow, it feels cooler today.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
As you can see, I'm sweating. They even have cotton on here too.
Yes, yes, they do.
I was thinking that this is going to be almost like a San Francisco vibe, but it is not because it is much cleaner. I see a lot of stores open,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And very pet friendly.
Absolutely, yes. What's interesting about BGC is you'll find a lot of like stray cats, quote unquote, but I wouldn't really call it stray cats because they have a dedicated organization to taking care of these cats around the city, which is interesting. You don't really find that in much places. So this is actually still a high street. It's a long walk here. So what's nice is that when you walk through the city, you'll find still shops that you see in the West. There's a Starbucks over there. That's where I go almost every morning. Yeah. And then over here, this is like a rock climbing store, but they also have a lot of camping equipment. And today, I'm actually surprised how, what is it, a Friday today?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so this is like the typical crowd you'll find on a Friday. But if you come here on a Sunday night, for example, or a Saturday night, it's way more people. Yeah.
Full of people.
Yes, yes. But as a resident in BGC, I love being here on weekdays only because it's so peaceful here, clean. The air, even the air feels more clear too.
Yes.
So.
So, if you're not working, what do you do here?
The part, if not working, that's hard because I'm always filming. But I think really spending time with some friends and family around the city here. For example, some things that I like to do is they have a lot of parks here. One of them is called Track 30th, where it's a big loop where you can walk around and then you just go for a walk there. So that's one thing. Visiting the parks here, just hanging out, having a good time.
Yes.
And then I'm a big foodie, so I like to try different restaurants. And actually, to the left of us, we can check it out really quick. It's a restaurant called Foul Bread, and it's my favorite fried chicken restaurant in the city. So.
And then, now let's talk about the people. Can you give us an example of the people here in the Philippines versus in the U.S.?
Sure. In the Philippines in general,
Yes.
I'd say that the Philippines definitely has more laid back and chill people. In the U.S., especially where I was raised in Chicago, it's a very uptight energy. You have places to be, things to do, always on the go, working constantly. I do that here, me personally, but when I'm around the crowd in the Philippines, everyone's very chill and laid back. That's why we have a word called Filipino timing, because people come a little bit late. They're a little bit late sometimes here.
They are more laid back.
Yeah, they are more laid back. So that's the island vibe that even applies to a lot of the residents in cities here. And yeah, I'd say overall people are more laid back. They're very open to have a conversation, very willing to help, and they're very lighthearted here in the Philippines.
Very welcoming too.
Very welcoming.
And they don't mind you filming.
No, yeah, they won't. They won't tell you to delete the footage if they're on the video.
And sometimes they would want to be included in the film.
Yeah. A lot of the residents or people that I meet here, the locals, they love being on camera.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Not shy.
Not shy, no.
Especially when it comes to karaoke.
Oh,
not shy at all. So where are we now, Evan?
So we're actually still on High Street. This is the last block of High Street, and basically High Street is broken up into 4 different blocks, and it's separated by the street that we just passed, that the cars pass through. So this is the last block of High Street, more stores, and like I mentioned, the whole structure of the infrastructure on High Street is just stores on your left and right hand side. It's basically a promenade. And then once we get to the end of it, then we're gonna find the next sort of attraction in BGC, which is called Surendra. Yes, and Surendra, it's a shopping center, but also a very large condo development here in the city.
Yes. Now, besides the outdoor shop, I've heard that there are great malls here too.
Yes, there is. So a few of them that to keep note of is SM Aura. This is about 5-floor mall, and it's there's a lot of different stores there. I wouldn't say they're extremely high end, but they are still like globally known stores. And then other than that, you have one Bonifacio Mall. That's a little bit more high end. We passed by there already. And then Uptown Mall, which is a very large mall, and I like the food options over there and the scenery there.
Now, I also have noticed that here in BGC, the prices compared to regular area, it is almost like a U.S. Price.
It is actually. The prices here are more on par with the U.S. Just because, of course, it's a city. If you go out to the province, you can live on $1,500 a month, $1,000 per month if you're single. But if you come to BGC, yes, that's still doable, and I've met a lot of guys that are living alone who do live on that amount, because rent here, you can go to rent a studio for $500 a month. But of course, if you're looking for more Western amenities, it's gonna cost Western prices here in the Philippines. Despite that, a lot of the residents here in BGC that have moved from the more pricey areas of the US, like California, Chicago, and New York, they still have a more affordable lifestyle here in BGC.
So, Evan, any recommendation for people who are thinking of maybe diving or moving here in the Philippines?
Recommendations, like where to stay?
Yes, where to stay, what to watch out for.
Sure. Yeah, so in terms of where to stay, I think we always talk about BGC on the channel all the time. And then Makati is another alternative. You also have Eastwood, have a place, a condo there. Other than that, if you want a more provincial environment, Alabang is nice. It's expensive there. There's Clark, which is more of it looks more like the U.S. And then a lot of people gravitate towards Cavite just because it's very affordable to stay in that province. But in terms of advice that I would give, I think the main thing that made a difference for me was finding a community and finding on Facebook groups places and people to meet up with. Because oftentimes if you're coming from the US, you're not moving really with anybody other than family, and maybe you do have family here, but you're not as close with them. That was the case with me. So I had to find a group and a community of people that live in BGC, and it really made living here so much nicer. So finding a community and a group here is really big as well.
Now, why BGC instead of other places, such as Eastwood or Makati?
I think the main reason why is because BGC is so modern. Makati is nice, and our grandparents have a place there, and we occasionally stay the weekends there, but it's also not as walkable as BGC. The majority of Makati is a lot larger than BGC. So BGC, it's very pedestrian friendly. Everything's about 15 minutes away from each other, and a lot more walkable. And another thing is that it's almost like, how do I describe it? It's like the place that everyone gravitates to. So everyone comes to BGC for, I guess, for example, if it's a gathering or a party, the immediate place, if one guy's living in Quezon and another guy's living in Mandaluyong, they could meet in either city, but typically they're going to choose BGC just because of the establishments we have here, the convenience of living here, and just the options of where you can walk around and check out. Yeah.
Now, last question is about cost of living or the budget that they should consider.
Budget. As a single person or a family?
Let's start with single.
For a single person, I've met a lot of guys who can live on $2,000 per month. So $1,500 to $2,000 per month. $1,500 is very, very conservative. I wouldn't go any lower than that just because you don't know how much your rent is going to cost you here. And that's if you have a very minimalistic lifestyle. You don't drink, smoke, or party much. And then for a family, I'd say that $3,000 per month is most common. I find that families spend here. We actually have a family from California that lives in our building. They're also vloggers called Living La Vida Tagalog. And that I interviewed them. They spend about $3K a month. And that's for a family of two boys and of course Brian and Christina.
Wow, and that is including the rent, the food,
Yeah.
transportation, pretty much everything.
Exactly. Transportation is very low cost here in BGC.
Yes.
Because you don't have to really go much. You can take Grab, but that only costs like $2. So yeah. But rent here, it depends on where you stay. Because if you stay on High Street, where we just passed through, that could be up to $2,000 to $3,000 per month. So Western prices. But if you stay a little bit outside that area where I am, 1,000, did I say pesos? I meant dollars. And then if you stay where I am, a little bit outside of the city center, it's a little bit lower.
Yes. So Evan, please invite them about your YouTube and also your website.
Oh yes, so my YouTube is called TheSavvyExpat, and then my website is TheSavvyExpat.com. So the YouTube, we've been posting there for about 4 years now. Excuse me, 2 years. 2 years now. I lived here for 4 years. And then my website is basically my BGC guide, and I talk all about the city on that website.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, Evan, thank you so much again
Yes.
for allowing us to interview you and also to show us around here in BGC. We do encourage them to visit your website and also your YouTube. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being on.